The Barra Powered Crown Wagon is no stranger to the channel, and the last time we saw the car, we got the gearbox out, we stripped it down, and we found out what was wrong with the Turbo 400. In this episode, we're going to fix that problem, get the gearbox back in the car, and get the Crown back on the road. This episode was originally filmed close to 2 months ago now. We were getting the car ready for Rocky Nuts. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get there, and after reviewing the footage, I made the decision not to post the video just because it was too far gone. Don't worry about it, I'll leave it to the side. But I went back through it, and after going through the footage again, there's some quality content, and it's a bit of a reminder that shit happens and not everything goes to plan. And that's the game we play when it comes to performance cars. So stay tuned, there's a few issues to resolve, but we're finally there now. So let's fix the gearbox and then go for a road test. I've got 5 days till Rocky Nuts, and the Crown still isn't on the road because the gearbox is in pieces. And today we're here with my mate Mark, and we're going to go through rebuilding the Turbo 400, mate. How you going?
Loving life.
Loving life, that's good. So the case is being cleaned. Mark's made a bunch of modifications to a heap of stuff. The biggest one being the pan and the pickup, which we've modified. But mate, go us through, tell us what you've done with the pressure egg and everything else. And
so the pressure egg, we've changed the pressure egg in the oil pump.
Yep.
We're going to run a little bit more oil pressure, line pressure, you could call it. So if you do have any more oil surge, it's going to mask it a little bit.
Yep.
So instead of dropping from 150 or 160 psi, we're going to drop from like 200 psi.
Sweet.
So with the horsepower and everything that the Crown makes, it doesn't really need that much, even though most transmissions sort of with trans brakes have that sort of pressure.
Yep.
We're going to run that to try and make it a bit better. This is your second gear clutch pack, so this is the one that really
These were just
caught it beating.
Yeah.
We had 3 clutch plates there, so now we've gone to 4, which if it's got no line pressure there, it doesn't matter how many clutch plates you got there, it's gonna turn it. So
so the extra clutch plate is spreading the load with an extra one in there, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's more surface area.
Yep.
But with more surface area, we need more line pressure to be able to force that on.
More
so
clamping force.
You cut, you really need, if you're going to add more clutch packs, you sort of need a little bit more line pressure to hold those together.
Yep.
So few bits and pieces. Going to change the pan gasket, little minor things.
Yep.
You went and machined
the pan, yeah, with John. Thank you, John, for doing that for me.
So
it was horrible, hey? Like straight out of the casting sand into the packaging.
It wasn't great, but that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah. But
trying to keep a low pan and have this all work the way it is. Look, it's sort of fun. It sucks when you're pulling stuff in and out, but trying to make stuff work that not many other people really try and do with a low pan and make that much power.
I know now that if I'm very confident this is going to work, but if it does have an issue, I won't do 5,000 Ks. I'll just drop it straight back off. So
yeah,
cool. And another thing, mate, it's not just as simple as slapping it together. You've already got the band in there. I know there's a lot of clearancing and stuff going on. So what have you done? You've already kind of had this assembled already.
Yeah.
What have you done, and what's the process?
I've gone through and I've replaced all the seals for the pistons, replaced the frictions and steels where we needed to, rebuilt the oil pump, replaced the pressure egg system in the oil pump with a different design from Sonex. Obviously the pickup, which is what you've done. Essentially it's going back together very, very similar. The only other thing I suppose that I've done is I've added a billet aluminium piston there for the center support. I think it'll be a little bit nicer. So the pressure egg system I've got in there now for the oil pump, and this is a tricky one, is that with a trans brake unit they're fixed line pressure pretty much all the time.
Yep.
Now with fixed line pressure, if you've got 210 psi line pressure, each time you go from park to reverse, it clunks. If you go from neutral to first gear, it's a real hard thud.
Yep.
With the Crown, you're not really going to want that driving it every day, which is sort of why I've tried to keep the pressures lower initially.
Yep.
So with this system, at the engine at idle RPM, the pressure should be lower with this particular system that Sonex supply, and then when you've actually upped the revs and under load, we should have higher line pressure.
Sweet.
So try and get that firm shifting without having a thud, you know, changing it at idle, you know, in a shopping centre car park and going to buy nappies and stuff like that.
That's it. So does this also mean that now I can make more horsepower and not worry about breaking a gearbox? Or
yeah, you're always going to break it, but yeah, make more horsepower.
Alright, so well, let's get assembling, mate. We'll run the GoPro and get some tunes and then go back to the shed and get it back in the car.
Sounds good.
Sweet. Is that it? Do I not get an appendage? Well, there's one Turbo 400 rebuilt thanks to the legend Mark. Done and dusted, mate.
Done and dusted.
Now, what do you charge to put this back in the car?
Too much.
Now I've got to head back to the shed to throw this thing in. I'm going to throw it in tonight and then road test, make sure everything's all good, and then it's head to Rocky Nuts. So, you coming to Rocky Nuts?
Too busy, mate.
Too busy.
Too busy.
I'm too busy too, but I'll still go.
Too many tough cars going up there.
Yeah. Oh. All right, sweet as. Let's get back to the shed and get this thing bolted back in. Got the gearbox back in the shed now with a new and improved gearbox jack from Joel's Garage Gear. 1 ton, so I can lift the crown off the hoist if I wanted to. Got a bunch of stuff in the back. Before I can fit the gearbox, I've got another job to do, and that is replace the battery in my light because it's flat. I've got this thing right here. This is the steering box that I got off Marketplace. Thank you, Alistair, legend, for supplying it. This thing has got a mad leak, so I've got to fix that before I put the gearbox back in because it's going to be an easier job. You stop making all that racket over there?
Ain't quiet.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna get the dump pipe out. I think the booster can stay, but it's just gonna be, it's one of those things, it's hard to get to. So I'll get that done, and then maybe you'll do an LS conversion. No, you won't do that. Sweet, then I'll get the gearbox back in. I've also got to do the diff too. The diff has been, I removed it just to check the backlash, and it's all good. I'm gonna fix that oil leak. But what I've also done is I've just drilled and tapped 2 holes here, 8x125. That's last time trying to get separate the diff from the housing as a pain in the ass, but now I can just put some bolts in there to separate it. So that is going back in, and I think after that I'll go down the road and take my brother for a drive because he's never been in the car. All right, you can make some noise now. There is a little bit of difference in the box. This is from, I think it is a UZS 137. So it had a 1UZ V8. So same chassis, but different engine. The solenoid up the top here and the lines are in a different configuration. The feed I'm not worried about, and the return, I can make up new hoses for that. It's only the orientation of this solenoid, and I'm hoping it doesn't clash with anything. Mainly being the exhaust manifold, but being that everything is kind of further over this side, on that box, I think it should work. So I'm gonna throw that one up in there, change some lines around, and I'm also going to get some exhaust wrap in here because everything's, yeah, everything just looks melty, even though it's not, but I've got some heat protection there, but I just want to try and wrap this up just for a bit more heat protection anyway, so less heat in that. Ooh, I just noticed something else which I'm going to ignore. That's a bummer. That's what heat does to your bushes. Yep. I will not worry about that one right now. I will forget about it. Or maybe I should do it. God damn it. I decided I should do the right thing and replace the mount. So I phoned around to see if anyone had one. I'm not going to get one in time, but luckily Kevo has some tough mounts fitted, so the 2JZ will now identify as an N54 and be a slanty engine for the meantime, and I'm going to steal the bush out of this. Thanks, Kevo. Kevo saves the day. Making an absolute mess here. This is what's left of the bush, which is a careful when you mount your engine careful when you make your engine mounts if they're in a close proximity to a very hot manifold. This is what will happen. So maybe make up a heat shield or something. I would like to do that. I actually kind of plan to maybe change this manifold out with something else. So I'm gonna leave it for now because I don't have time and I just want to drive the car. This lasted 5,000 Ks, so the replacement will do the same thing. I'm gonna say this is a temporary fix, but truth be told, it's one of those, I'm never gonna replace it because I know it's probably gonna work. Just a little bit of car builder's heat shield and just to protect the bush. Hopefully that air gap will be suffice to keep that bush from exploding again. Alright, the steering box seems to fit. I'm yet to come down and check. The lines are different, but I can just make some new AN lines out of some Raceworks fittings. I've changed the pitman arm over just because this one was replaced from the other box, so that's been done. I'm going to keep that because I'm a hoarder and I don't know why I keep old junk, but maybe I can get that rebuilt in the future, I don't know. I'm leaving the steering hanging because we actually have to tilt the engine to get the gearbox in, even though it's solid mounted, and Matthew's working on his... Come on, he's working on his finger grip. He's got the electrician hands over here. He's throwing $100 bills everywhere. And then Evo's come round. How are you, brother? Good. Evo's gonna throw the gearbox in for me. Yeah. Ah, no, sweet. I just gotta put the converter in now and then I am sorted. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, I am beefcake. Awesome. Yes. Trans brake. This oil boy is just an absolute lifesaver. I've used it so much now, this sucking function. We're just doing a quick little trans cooler flush by sucking it through and back out the other side. So working really well and getting rid of all the bad oil in the cooler. Sweet. The lower ones. Well, I'm not about secrets here, and we all make mistakes, and someone was a bit rough with the converter bolts. Hang on, let me get some light here. Someone was me. I just kind of sent it, and which one is it?
That one.
That one there.
Yeah.
One, I didn't actually clean the threads. I forgot to clean the threads of Loctite, and I think that kind of made it go a bit sideways, and then I tried to tap it while it was in the starter and it didn't work. So we pulled the gearbox back out to do this. But lucky we're getting some practice at it.
Getting some practice. It's alright, it's only 3 AM.
Oh, yeah. What time is it? I don't know.
9:30.
Alright, sweet. We'll tap that back out and get it back in.
You.
You got it?
Yeah.
Sweet, what a legend. Oh, maybe I can get it peeked through here. This is the inspection hole for the converter bolts, by the way. You got to look through.
There we go. I'm not doing it tight though, you can.
You got to look through the control arm and then get the gap in there. That's what we're dealing with. Oh, how many clicks am I meant to do? Oh, talk to spare.
It's a couple short, but we'll be right.
Got the legends from Battle Raps here, Sam and Robbie.
Hello.
These guys are doing me a secret project, which will be released later on in the year. But I'm giving you guys a shout out because it's 9 PM on a Tuesday night, and here you are.
Sweating.
I don't have the aircon on for you. Oh.
It's always so warm in here.
It is warm, yeah.
It feels warmer than usual,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
These guys are wrapping your car for me, and you guys, absolute legends. No one could have done a better job than you guys, like, seriously. We're here Saturday night, 11 PM. What other day was it? You were working all night?
They've all
I think
blended
we've been
into
here-
one, man.
What day is it today?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
We didn't
Nah.
come Sunday, nah.
Legends, and all will be revealed in the future. Thanks, dudes.
Hey, we appreciate the opportunity. This has been a lot of fun. I didn't think we'd be doing a league, but it's been a blast, man.
Yeah,
thanks
sweet.
for the invite.
And what do you think of the Crown Wagon?
Beautiful.
No, it's amazing, man. I'd only recently seen all of this on the channel, and it's like, man, is it going to be there? So this is awesome. This is awesome.
Well, if I get this gearbox done, we'll go for a lap later, but...
It's
Yeah.
good weather for it.
Oh, raining, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some roundabouts around here.
Yeah.
Well, not everything has gone to plan on this. The steering box does fit, but unfortunately, the fitting, because they're in a separate, different location now, the adapter I had kind of had the line up about here, and it needs to be right up in because I plumbed my wastegate back in. The wastegate merge actually sits right here where the line is. So I've just got this -6 weld on, 999-6 SS, and I've just cleaned it up to try and weld on this. It is old and janky, and I would usually go and see Mr. Monopoly at Noosa Radiators to get this cleaned up and brazed with the oxy, but I don't have that time because it's 10 PM on a Tuesday, so gonna hit it with a TIG, see if they can fix it. Then if this doesn't work, then I'll go buy a new one and go and see him tomorrow because I don't have time to waste. Let's get it sorted. Damn it. I've been doing this thing where I set myself a goal each day as to what I want to get done. The goal today was I want to drive the Crown home, and it's now 11:30. I'm about to hit the key. I won't drive it home because I've kind of been rushing things, and I know it's not good to rush things, but now I'm going to start it, make sure there's no leaks from that steering box. If it's leaking, I'll pull it back out tonight and go fix it tomorrow. Oh, scared me. The old spanner falling down in the... Let's try that again. Another plus side of having an industrial shed is that you can start your car at midnight and you're not going to piss off your neighbours. I'm calling that a win. It's late at night. I'm covered in ATF. I've literally showered in it. So I'm going home, back tomorrow, fix this thing, go for a road test. And I've got some PSRs left, so I'm going to have to change them over. So we'll do something about that. Double check over the work, make sure there's no leaks, and then up to Rocky for Rocky Nuts. Just went on the road test. It's been raining for like the last 3 weeks here. It's crazy. And the one time that I go for a road test, it's got a dry road. Sweet, fresh tyres. Best check this gearbox out, gave it a hiding. First few hits was fantastic. Happy days, sorted, problem sorted, no worries. Coming back to the shed, I shifted from third down to second, gave it a hit,
and it had this really bad shudder. I got worried, came back to the shop, checked shifter position again, checked the oil level again, totally fine. Called up Mark and said, hey, this is what's up. We just went for another drive. Typical thing too, should have filmed it, but I didn't because I'm just rushing and whatever. Sure enough, the gearbox has got to come back out now. Mark thinks it's a sprag, which it looks okay. We bench tested it, it's okay. Mark bench tested it. So now I've got to pull it back out. And this is the, I'm gonna say privilege, but it's not quite the right word. This is the reality of owning a 700 horsepower car. And when there's an event you want to get to, these are the things you got to do. So got the fan, it's like, it's red hot. I don't know if you can hear it. You can hear the tink, tink, tink. We just came back from a drive. So fan on, cool down, and burn my hands, shower in ATF again, and pull the gearbox back out. This guy doesn't even get changed. He's wearing the same clothes as yesterday.
Got out of bed on my uniform, came straight over.
Geordie, come and save the day, help me out. 50 minutes, I had this thing back out, so I'm pretty stoked. Mark is on his way down with a new sprag. Pull this one out and get the new one in. I'm kind of keen to pull the oil pump out myself, but I might just leave it for Mark because I don't want to. Maybe I'll just do it anyway, whatever. Also, the rear main is still leaking, so I don't know whether to hack at that at the moment or not, but I think it might be the rear, the number 6 cap or 7 cap on the back, and it's sump out, engine out, no thanks. So it can stay leaking. How about that? Thank you. But I held on the shift though, but it wasn't. It was when you went third, back to second.
So the issue we found here wasn't only just the sprag clutch, but also the drum. This drum was 5,000 Ks old. It was fresh when Mark built the gearbox, and the conclusion was, being that the car is heavy, it's near 2 ton, and my driving style, being on and off the throttle in second gear, kind of pedaling it, has damaged that drum and worn a mark in it right from the sprag. So new drum and new sprag, we've replaced all the seals and everything here for the oil pump, and back together, ready to put back in the car.
Oh look, he's got a call out fee, but he's also got a helping out fee too. Mark's hanging around.
I'm broke.
I'm broke. Jaden broke. And getting the gearbox back in. The biggest pain with this gearbox is the top belt housing bolts. They're absolute. So you gotta pull. You see us kind of pull the gearbox down and wedge a block of wood in there, but it's going back in, and then we'll do some skids later on. I mean, we won't do skids because I drive responsibly.
So the last clip you just saw, it was Wednesday afternoon and the day before leaving for Rocky Nuts. I drove the car home that night, all good, drove back to work the next day, and Thursday morning I was packing the car in the shed, tools and just some spares and stuff. And after leaving the car seat for like 15 minutes, there was a massive puddle of ATF under the car. It was a bummer. I was bummed, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, it was one of those, oh well, it happens. Had the backup crown. I took the backup crown to Rocky Nuts, had a blast. Awesome event. If you haven't seen the event video, click the link in the corner. Came back from Rocky Nuts and I hooked into pretty well pulling the gearbox straight out and fixing the leak. So I called up Mark, we came around, we removed the oil pump, and then basically we don't think it was coming from the converter seal. We thought maybe it was from one of the bolts on the oil pump. So we pulled the oil pump out, replaced O-rings, replaced all the like fiber washers on the oil pump back in, new converter seal. Thought we had it hunky-dory, back in, road test, and unfortunately the same thing happened again. So, bummed again. I actually cut a inspection hole in the gearbox bell housing. First inspection saw basically, okay, it's coming from the converter seal. So we got the gearbox out again and basically had a look. And I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know how I missed it. And it's funny, it's a bit of a lesson to not overlook the simple things. Basically, what had happened is somewhere along the line, I have scratched the converter. So the snout on the converter, don't know when I did it. Maybe it was when I was draining the converter in the oil buoy or something. I'm not too sure, but pretty well what happened was it had a scratch right on the converter where the seal was. And I don't know how I missed it. I checked it and was like, yep, sweet, all good, I'll throw it back in the car, but it's one of those things. So we took the converter up to Mark's place, we cleaned it up with some emery, got it down to 1000, polished it up, back in the car, and it's all good, no more leaks. So that was 4 times the gearbox had to come out of the car, and now we're back in and we're good, and I'm frothing to have this thing back on the road. It's so good, have the Crown. I just absolutely love this car so much. It's a dream to drive, and I wouldn't have it any other way. This car is perfect. It drives so nice, and this car has been built for everyday driving, as well as being a fast car, which it ticks all boxes. There is things that I do want to change with it. So in the future, there's stuff that I want to change with suspension, and the ride height I'm quite happy with, but I'd like to just get a bit more travel with it. So I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to play with springs and shocks, but it's all stuff that can get done in the future. So this car, as it is now, I'm so stoked to have it back on the road and driving it again. It's been a long time off the road. It's been sitting in the shed. So stoked to be back on the road and driving it around. So I'm going to head out to the highway, give it a quick little hit, 100k zone, and we'll wrap up the episode. Gotta love that sound, as if you just don't, absolutely love it. Load it up on the hill. Alright, pulling onto the highway, second gear pull, we'll go 50 to 110, let's hit it. Absolutely love it. This thing is so good. Pulls like a freight train, comfortable, quiet. It just ticks all the boxes for me. And a mate asked me the other day if I'd ever sell this car. Truth be told, everything's for sale for the right price. And if someone offered me the right money, I probably would say yes, but this is like my dream car. I've wanted to build this for so long, and I've been driving the wheels off it. I'm keen to get it to an event, maybe like a roll racing or lakeside happy laps or something like that, but time will tell. I suppose I just got to check the calendar and find out what's on. I've got to say a massive thanks to Mark at Outcast Automotive. Absolute legend. The gearbox issue, the leak was my fault, and Mark put up with my bullcrap for so long, and we eventually got there in the end, which I'm very stoked about. And for someone like Mark, who was very patient with me, thank you so much, dude. Really, I thank you for your time, and it's good to have a friendship like that. Mark actually owns the Burrito bus, which is what's in at the shed at the moment, Chevy Malibu, and I'm repaying the favour for him too. That car is coming up soon. I've got a fair bit of work to get done on the Patrol, so gonna finish the Patrol off, hopefully get it ready for Dobinson's King of the Strip. So fingers crossed we can get that done. I got wiring happening. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough content in this week's episode to release it, so that's why you're seeing this one. So next week we're back on the Patrol, finish that off, hopefully, maybe not, if we can get it ready for King of the Strip, I'm going to be stoked. I'm also putting $500 up for the furthest travelled entrance. So if you're keen to come and you're travelling a fair distance, want to win an extra $500 to go towards fuel, hook in, come to the event. It's an awesome event. I haven't been, and I've just been told so many cool things about it. So very keen to get up there. And I think that's pretty well done for today's episode on the Skid Factory. Thank you to everyone who's been buying merch worldwide. We send it worldwide, and there's been some stuff purchased from Lithuania, Romania, Kenya, all over the world. I really do thank you for the support. We've got a bit of a fire sale going on there at the moment too. There's just random shirts mismatched, that random sizes that are discounted. So jump on there if you're after a bargain, and I'll see you next week on the Skid Factory. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Enjoy. You see, if I don't stop talking, that means you won't click off the video, and it improves the watch times to keep the Google algorithms happy. Don't forget about Dobinson's King of the Strip. There's $13,000 up for prize money. I'm thinking about taking up the Crown Wagon and strapping on the rooftop tent now that I've got the car back on the road. That's me, done and dusted. What's for dinner? I'm having fish tacos with some freshly caught whiting from Noosa River. Thanks for watching. Drive safe. Enjoy. Bloody M&M Transmissions, mobile mark. Tell me all about it, mate. What's going on, and what are you replacing here?
At the moment, well, I'm just working out what my call-out fee is, but
Got 240 bottles of Skid Factory lemon squash. Do not drink it. It doesn't taste good. It will hurt your throat. Limited edition Skid Factory.
I'll take a random guess that there's about 3 comments about the wheel balance in the rear being out, because you can see the headrest vibrating. I can feel it through my butt too. I'll get it sorted. These things, it doesn't actually annoy me that much. If it was the front, I'd get it sorted, but the front's perfectly fine. There's also a knock, which is a heat shield on the firewall. Just got to give that a little tweak, but I know where it's coming from. Click in this corner to watch another video, click over here to subscribe, or click down over here to